Good evening and welcome. Thanks for being here tonight in this presentation. And thanks for the introduction, Doria. My name is Crenshaw, and I will present this topic, Sacred Geometry, Portal to the Cosmos, based on the teachings of Master Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov. The material for tonight is based on this book, The Symbolic Language of Geometrical Figures, by Master Omraam. Now, who was Master Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov? We will watch a short biography about his life in this video. Please enjoy.
Mikhaël Aïvanhov was born on January the 31st, 1900 in Macedonia. He came from a modest family, though rich in moral values. His mother, Dolya, educated in the great laws of the universe, dedicated Mikhaël to God from conception. In 1907, Mikhaël and his family settled in Varna, but the death of his father soon left them without means. Poverty and all the other problems that the young Mikhaël had to overcome helped awaken his spiritual fervour and the many faculties which he made use of later. At age 16, after meditation and breathing exercises, Mikhaël had an overwhelming mystical experience in which light accompanied him throughout his life. In 1917, Mikhaël met the master Peter Dunov, who had been sent into exile in Varna. Impressed by the skills of young Mikhaël, Master Peter Dunov took him in as a disciple, guiding him in his spiritual exercises and pushed him to continue his university studies. In 1920, Brother Mikhaël followed his master to Sofia. He graduated and became a teacher. Each summer, the White Brotherhood, founded by Master Peter Dunov, united together in the Rila Mountains for a period of several weeks. Outdoors, under the rays of the sun, Master Peter Dunov taught his disciples to read the Book of Living Nature. Everything, for the Master, was an opportunity to teach them something. In 1937, Master Peter Dunov, sensing the upcoming upheavals, charged Brother Mikhaël to carry the flame of his teaching over to France. Before letting him go, Master Peter Dunov confided the following to him in the form of a parable. I'm giving you a huge, priceless gem, but you have to cross through a large forest infested with robbers and wild beasts. This stone must be dirty to be unrecognizable. Thieves will set upon you and seek to steal. But, finding nothing of value, they will eventually leave you alone. Once you get through this long, dangerous forest, I will be with you to wash the stone, which will shine with an unmatched brilliance. He thus revealed to him the difficulties he would encounter. Shortly after his arrival in France in July 1937, the Master Peter Dünhoff wrote to him, "Beloved Mikhaël, my good wishes for the good work you are doing for the kingdom of God in this great city. I'm sending you Rays of Life," which were the latest conferences from Rila. Then, in November 1939, knowing the many jealousies which he was victim to, he addressed these words to him. "I can see that what is said about you bothers you from time to time. God is behind good and evil. He directs these two forces. Love speaks for good, and the lack of love for evil. Divine love is above everything." Brother Mikhaël quickly gained control of the French language. He gave his first public lecture in January 1938 in Paris on the theme of light and the spring. It was in 1947 that the first fraternal centre was acquired at Sèvres in the Parisian suburbs and was baptised Izgrev in memory of the fraternal centre where the Master Peter Dünhoff and his disciples resided in Sofia, Bulgaria. But a series of trials awaited Brother Mikhaël. He was the victim of a conspiracy and sentenced on the basis of false evidence. As many stones that are received, as many there are to transform into precious stones, fruits of a true spiritual alchemy. It was not until 1960 that he was cleared. Brother Mikhaël inaugurated the first summer congress in 1953 at the Domaine du Bonfin in Fréjus on the Côte d'Azur. When brothers and sisters set up their tents on this secluded property, there were virtually no amenities. I prefer to live in a small hut with all humanity in my heart than in a spacious and comfortable home, he would say. In 1959, Brother Mikhaël left by himself for a one-year trip to India. This trip marked a turning point in his life. He met the most respected gurus, including the Himalayan avatar Babaji, and visited famous ashrams. It was in India that he received a new name, Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov. Upon his return, the brothers and sisters were stunned. They discovered a transformed man. His disciples then recognized him as a master and insisted in showing him this respect. Now, the master Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov spoke in his own voice. He continued the work begun by Master Peter Dünov, adding his own developments. There was no contradiction between them. They walked the same path in the same direction, always toward the light, towards God. Thanks to the enthusiastic voluntary work of many brothers and sisters, the Domaine du Bonfin, once a barren, rocky land, gradually became what it is today, an international convention centre for participants coming every summer from the 5 continents. Today, the fraternity has thousands of members in many countries, and fraternal centres have been set up as real centres of light. But this is only a reflection of the true universal white brotherhood, which is above, and contains all the most advanced beings. The name Universal White Brotherhood contains a science. It evokes a fraternal world. It shows us the task to accomplish. It traces the path of light in which we can walk.
Quelle est la chose la plus importante? Et c'est ça qui manque maintenant dans la tête de tous les humains, même les philosophes, même les savants, même. Et je disais, de savoir la valeur des choses, c'est au-dessus de tout. Mais on ne connaît pas la valeur des choses. Regardez maintenant, si vous posez la question, la valeur de radio, la valeur de la platine, la valeur de l'or, des pierres précieuses, de l'argent, de ceci, de cela. Ils vous diront, voilà ce qu'ils connaissent. Mais il y a d'autres choses, une autre valeur. Ils ne connaissent pas la valeur de la lumière, la valeur du bien, la valeur d'un idéal. Qu'est-ce que c'est un idéal? Quelle est la valeur d'un idéal? Ils ne savent pas. Ah, quelle est la valeur d'un morceau de fromage? Oui. Et c'est là que je veux vous dire que la chose parmi les plus importantes, c'est de savoir, de connaître la valeur des choses. Eh bien, ils ne connaissent pas la valeur. Quelle est la chose la plus importante? Oh, la plus importante, c'est d'avoir de l'or. Ou d'avoir une femme, d'avoir un enfant, et ainsi de suite. Et bien, d'après moi, la chose la plus importante, c'est de savoir la chose qui peut nous donner ces 3 choses-là. La lumière, avoir la lumière, l'amour et la vie. Et il n'y a rien de plus important. Dites-moi, donnez-moi quelque chose de plus important que la vie. Et regardez combien les gens sont loin de ça. Et ils ne diront jamais que c'est la vie qui est la plus importante. C'est l'or, c'est le côté économique, c'est le côté politique, c'est le côté... Hein? Mais la vie. Et quelle vie? Ben, la vie. Et voilà que là aussi, Mais pas la vie de vivre comme les animaux. La vie éternelle, la vie immense, la vie illimitée. C'est cet amour pour cette vie immense, de savoir, de connaître et de vivre ça. Ben, il n'y a pas d'autre chose plus importante que ça. Et c'est ça qu'on apprend dans l'enseignement. Comment vivre, voilà.
One of the main missions of Master Omraam was to introduce initiatic teachings to the world. Initiatic teachings are very ancient, coming from Egypt. And he was recognized by many, many people as a great initiate. He never wrote a book. All his lectures were recorded. There are 160 books in total in 50 languages, because they are very profound and very practical. So what is an initiate? How do we define an initiate? A human being who strives to live upward in consciousness. You can initiate yourself or go to school. You are here because you, in a way, are an initiate. You want to go upward in consciousness. And one of the tools to do it is sacred geometry, as I will show you. Why sacred geometry is important for our evolution? Well, let me ask you a question. If I ask you, describe me your car, what comes to your mind? An image. If I ask you, describe me your living room, what comes to your mind? An image, right? So we conclude that the mind processes information through images, right? It's not through words, it's through images. That's the first part that you need to really be very aware how the mind functions. The mind processes information through images. Okay, for example here, this classic book, The Tao of Physics. They interview Nobel Prizes, one of them in mathematics. And he said, you know why we scientists use formulas? Because language is so limited to describe reality. We cannot use language to describe this cosmic vastness of the universe, so limited. So we need to rely on formulas, on symbols. That's what they are. Another important concept, a cipher. What is a cipher? A secret or disguised way of writing a code. Put a message into secret writing and code. We all have ciphers, but they are dormant in the subconscious mind. All of us here in this room that are waiting to be awakened. There was a culture that knew the value of the ciphers, and they took the practice of the ciphers to a high level, the Egyptians. That is the reason every human being reads the ciphers or the hieroglyphs in a different way based on your knowledge, based on your experience, and based on your previous education. People are fascinated by this because for me this means something, but for you it means another thing. This is the most visited place in the planet because of that. It starts to awaken the ciphers in your mind. This is from the book. Figures and symbols are capable of expressing the richest and most complex realities, while at the same time reducing them to the barest essentials. We will explore some of these geometries, because one of the goals is to awaken the ciphers in your mind. Let me tell you how ciphers work. Through questioning. And the marketing industry know that's the way it works. When you go to a Safeway or Walmart and you are waiting to pay and you see all these magazines, are you overweight? Are you alone? They are activating the ciphers in your mind. Oh, maybe I can go there. That's how you start to awaken ciphers. And they know that without questioning. For example, one reason I titled this talk Sacred Geometry, Portal to the Cosmos, the planet Venus rotates every 9 years, and it creates a pattern like this, creates a star. And we have the pentagram, one of the most important symbols in initiatic science, because this is a science. They knew about it. It's not a star, it's a pentagram. The Egyptians knew the importance of this. This is from the Temple of Dendera in Egypt. The ceiling is the zodiac, complete the map of the space. On the Dendera temple, the whole cosmology. The Egyptians were very advanced because they understood the importance of the ciphers to awaken the potential of the mind. They went beyond language. If you meditate for a very long time on any given subject, you will find that a symbolic image will begin to take shape in your subconscious or your higher consciousness. You want to go from the lowest, start to evolve. And symbols are really important. So there are two ways. It works in two ways. You start to think about a subject like the mathematicians, and a formula comes to your mind. That's how they solve all this. Well, how can I go from A to B with the space and the distance? An image comes, and they create all these images. The other way it works, you start to gaze to a sacred geometry. It's a very ancient practice in India. You gaze for 5 minutes, and it starts to create something in your subconscious mind. That's the way it works. Symbols are very important. 2 weeks ago, I was at the Conscious Life Expo in LA. Great event. I highly recommend it. And I was walking, and I saw a guy. The title of the book he wrote is Hidden Symbols. And he explained that many of the symbols that we see on these big companies, they have secret meanings to program you. They know this science. These people invest a lot of money on this science, and they know, okay, and you see all these TV commercials, all these companies, the logos, they have a purpose to program your subconscious mind. That is the reason this science is very important. It's very ancient science, very, very important to be aware how it works, so you can use it to evolve. For example, this is one of the most important teachings of Master Omraam, the knowledge of the 6 bodies. For example, we all are familiar with the physical body, but that we can see only with the physical eyes. But we have 5 more bodies that we cannot perceive with the eyes. The astral body, the mental body, causal body, Buddhic body. Buddha doesn't mean from the religion of the Buddha. That means the Buddha is an awakened person. That is the literal meaning of a Buddha, is an awakened person. And the atmic body. So you start, and if you can see here on this geometry, we have the signs of the zodiac. And you see the relationship to the intellect, and you start to gaze or to study this geometry. And you go back, because many of the teachings relate to this. And one practical application of this is that any decision that you take in your life, normally people just concentrate on the physical body. But we have other bodies going into a relationship with a new person, buying a house, entering into a business. You need to, how all these bodies play, because you want to go to any situation in your life with the 6 bodies at the same time. and that is initiatic science. It takes discipline a long time, but this is when your life is better. When you integrate the 6 bodies into any decision in your life or any activity, that's when you evolve faster. Humans are a mirror of the universe, a microcosm. Sacred geometry helps us to better understand this connection with the macrocosm. Well, we saw it with the planet Venus, right? I was giving another talk based on Master Omraam's teaching that Haydn, the musician, he wrote Hallelujah, a classic piece. They did an analysis in England about the music. And the music produces the pentagram. How he knew in the 1700s, 1600s. They did analysis because we are cosmic beings. Another thing that they share in the expo, that now Japanese found that the stars emit music. They can record that. And that affects us. So we need to align to that, and that's the whole point. We are walking antennas. This is a process of purification and refinement of the personality. It's not easy, but you need to have the right training, and if you want to go faster, this helps you to do it faster. It's important for us to study this question of symbols, because symbols are the language of nature. In initiatic teaching, it's very important to revere nature. There are many secrets that are there that we are not aware, because especially now all this technology is okay, but we are losing that connection to nature. That's the reason we have many problems. It's important to start to revere nature. For example, in business, right? I am a business consultant, and in ancient times, when people were milling the wheat by a big stone, a guy said, how can I make more, not by hand, because it's a lot of work. So he was walking, and he was walking next to a river. And he saw the power that was generated by the water. Because then, this is how the cipher works. He posed a question first to his subconscious mind. How can I make more without working so hard? And that's how you activate a cipher. So, because he was close to nature, he saw that. And then that's how they developed this wheel next to a river, because they were using that force to produce more. So there are many secrets in nature that are still out there that are waiting for us to be discovered. But we need to respect nature, that we are losing that. Understanding the importance of the sun using geometrical figures. Another basic or important teaching of Master Omraam, he brought back the ancient knowledge of the sun. The Egyptians knew about it. Many of the temples in Egypt, they are aligned to the equinox and to the solstice in a perfect way. The Indians know it's called Surya Yoga in the Indian tradition. It's a very ancient practice because, and you will see when we go to the advanced section, the importance of the sun for our evolution. Maybe some of you are familiar with the system called the human design. Rahuru said the sun emits neutrinos. Those neutrinos play a very important role in our consciousness. That's the basis of the human design. So it's very important to study the sun and to model your life to the sun, because it has great teachings, and we will see at the end why. Those who know how to decipher the great book of nature, recognizing the circular movement, the expression of a prodigious process. Some cultures knew about it, they study and they model their philosophy using the wave of the circular movement. The Sufis, the dervishes, dancing. Tai Chi movement is a wave. They're trying to incorporate that into their bodies. Far-reaching science and a vast body of philosophies contained in this figure, as we will explore. The circle symbolizes the universe, and the dot in its center represents the supreme being who sustains and animates it. You can call it God, cosmic intelligence, or us. We have that ability to never lose the center, and we'll see why. It's important. Astrologers have always used the circle with a dot in the center to represent the sun, and this figure can be seen in every sphere of nature, from the solar system to the atom, everywhere. From the tiniest organism, it is there. For some years, I still do Taoist training, alchemy. And in alchemy, you start to follow the pattern of the sun, and you nourish yourself with the energy of the sun. Many of the chemicals that are spreading are to block the energy of the sun, because they don't want you to evolve. It's very important. They know about it. Sacred geometry and numerology, there's a strong correlation between sacred geometry and numerology. The pentagram. How many sides it has? 5. Why do we have 5 fingers? Not 6 or 7. There's a reason for that. Because that cosmic mathematics is in our body. So you need to align and to listen to that. That's when the science of gematria came, where cosmic beings based on mathematics. If we interpret the significance of the number 10, we see that the 0 is the circle and the 1 is the dot in the center. How do we use this in our lives? Okay, it's an example. The worst thing that can ever happen to human beings is to be separated from the 1, to lose touch with the spirit and be no more than a 0. One basic example is, okay, you have, let's say, $100,000, right? 100,000, right? You add 1 more 0, you have 1 million, right? But what happens if you remove the 1? You have nothing. That's the center. And in the book, Master Omraam says, never lose the center, even if you are very advanced in your development. For example, I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, I was reading the San Francisco Chronicle. I used to live in San Francisco. I was training at the San Francisco Zen Center. And at the beginning of the pandemic, the doctors were asking the authorities to stop the quarantine, because they realized that the suicide rate tripled. People were getting depressed. They lost the center. That's what they did. That's the reason these teachings are so important, because when you face all these challenges of being alone, many people left the planet. They couldn't take it. They left because they lost the center. Another important part, another example, he said, even very advanced initiates or human beings are very careful never to lose the center. Never. Let me give an example. There was this teacher, maybe you know, Muktananda. Okay, and then I heard very good things about him. But suddenly the movement went down. And when I was teaching at the prison, one of the volunteers, she was in the movement of Muktananda, and I asked her, what happened to Muktananda? Well, he began to sleep with students. And that's when the movement went down. He lost the center. And then I confirmed the quote in the book that Master Omraam said, no matter how advanced you are in your development, be very careful. You can lose the center. Especially the higher you go, you need to be very careful with that, no matter where you are. For example, I'm studying the life of Benjamin Franklin. And Benjamin Franklin, he developed himself a lot of moral values. So he has 13 virtues. And one of them was humility. So no matter where you are, never lose humility. Even if you are the highest of the highest. It's true. Now let's explore the pentagram. The pentagram, or 5-point star, is the symbol of the complete human. Da Vinci, he was an initiate, very advanced initiate. The Vitruvian man from Da Vinci, he knew. And there are many secrets in the Vitruvian man. Why? There's a history about it. Many initiates encoded very important secrets on sacred geometry. Why? Because there was a separation between science and religion. And the Catholic Church began to persecute initiates because initiatic science gives you power. They don't want that. So many initiates encoded in paintings, in music, secrets. Da Vinci, he did it also. There's a lot of secrets of initiatic science in the Vitruvian man. If you want to find about the secrets, I was watching on Gaia TV, Robert Grant has a program called The Codex, and he describes in detail all the secrets in the Vitruvian man. And you see how Da Vinci was a genius. He encoded many secrets for people to understand. For example, this writing is backwards. I mean, why he did that? He knew. I am not giving you this knowledge to anybody. There's a reason for that. Our role is to put this teaching of the perfect human into practice in our lives. That's the meaning of the pentagram. Mm-hmm. We are a pentagram. We are a sacred geometry, a walking sacred geometry. Mm-hmm. Humans are living pentagrams. This is true on the physical level, but it's also true on the spiritual level. And I will show you that at the end when we go to the advanced teachings. How the pentagram is everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most important sacred geometries. It's for protection. It's a classic protection. Before you go out into the street, you protect yourself with the pentagram. About Lucy in the center, there's a great initiate, Daskalos, from Cyprus. Daskalos was a very powerful initiate. He was so powerful that was confirmed. There was once a war between Cyprus and Turkey. He went and stopped the war. He went to remember the 6 bodies? He went to the astral plane and he stopped the war. He was a very advanced, and he was asked, why you are not more known to people? I don't want to because power corrupts. He knew about power. He said, I don't want to be famous. It was very simple, but he could do miracles literally. And the Germans and the Austrians found him, and they went to Cyprus. He was teaching there for many years. He was like Master Omraam, but he decided to be low profile because he said that power corrupts, and I don't want that. Let kindness be the foundation of your life. Justice its measure. Wisdom its boundary. Love is the light, and truth its light. So we can do another session about all these 5 virtues now. So these are the ideal virtues that we want. Wisdom, truth, goodness, love, and justice. Now I'm going to share an example how you apply this into your life, okay? I am a CASA volunteer. Do you know what is a CASA? Anyone familiar with what is a CASA? CASA means Court Appointed Special Advocate. So I am an officer of the court for the state of California. I mentor children and families, and I need to go to testify to the court. I am the voice of the child because the legal system found that it's very traumatic for a child to go to court to testify. It's traumatic. So I am the voice of the child. So part of my job is to read the cases. And that's what motivates me to do this. When you see what is going on with humans. I have a case, a 15-year-old boy. He's taller than me. But in the report says that every time he was seeing his father, he got mark in his neck, broken nose. After he got home, after seeing his parents, he used to vomit. So imagine. And then, obviously, we were in court there. I was sitting next to the kid. It was the father, the lawyer of the father, and the lawyer of the teenager. Obviously, the lawyer of the teenager, he put a restraining order to the father. You do not get close to him anymore. And then I was sitting there, and then when the lawyer of the kids was explaining to the judge, and then it was the lawyer of the man, and the man said, "Judge, why this man is doing this to me? I love my son." And because I know what he was doing to him, I was just what I did. I just interposed this between him and me. Because yes, you need to apply this. You need to apply justice, goodness, love, truth, and wisdom in any situation in your life. It's not easy because you never know. I used to teach at the prison. And you do not know many this father, he was abused, and he was repeating the cycle. So you don't want to be very harsh with these people, even if they do. I mean, why are you doing that to your son? You never know. But then you need to be very okay, yeah. A restraining order needs to be applied to him. But at the same time, you do not judge, he's a bad man, because going back to the knowledge of the six bodies, whenever you create hate, you create a bond with that person. So you don't want to go there, right? But that's an example how you apply these teachings. In any situation, choosing a partner when you go dating. Okay, does this person have this? Obviously, finding the perfect pentagram walking is not easy, but it's going to give you kind of guidance. Okay, do I want to be with this person? In a business relationship, look for this. That's the ideal society. When we have this in society, problems will really decrease, especially now that we will see. What time is it? Oh, okay. Squaring the circle, one of the most important and very ancient teaching device, because these are teaching devices. Mm-hmm. The message here is that we must be sure to infuse the spirit into absolutely everything we do. Go back to the image of the six bodies. Everything you do. Because there is no separation, that's an illusion. This is, okay? Again, figures and symbols are capable of expressing the richest and most complex realities, while at the same time reducing them to the very essentials. Anyone who does not know how to let the spirit work in them becomes like a dead stump. Remind me, it's very sad. You see even in Mount Shasta, homeless people. They are just walking like this. And you see younger people every time. I used to live in Sacramento. Downtown, under the bridge, we have a big problem of homeless people. San Francisco, I used to live there. I used to go to the library, and you see all of them sleeping in front of the library. And it's very sad what is happening with these people. Mm-hmm. When I mentor these children, I tell them, I don't want to see you there. So what do we need to do for you not to get there? Because sadly, most of these children become homeless because of the skills. They cannot. It's difficult for them to go to school. This kid that I'm mentoring, he's having problems in school. His grades are going down. And that's a problem because they cannot find a job, and they begin to steal, and they go to jail. It's a big issue, and we're all responsible because our taxes are going to maintain these people. $60,000 years ago it cost an inmate. So it's our taxes. We need to maintain these people. And that's when you apply the pentagram. How do I apply the pentagram through justice, goodness to this problem? Yeah, you need to put these people in jail. Some of them, they need to be in jail. It's true. But if you study the past, some of the inmates that I used to teach, they used to make letters. What happened to them? I said, whoa. Same story, same cycle. So family is very important. Whereas those who do let the Spirit work in them are cared for and tended every day. They are visited, fed, watered, and protected from parasites. Yet we have physical parasites, but there are other kind of parasites. Those are the ones that you need to be very careful. Those are wandering around the other 5 bodies, waiting for you to get distracted, and they get you. Many crimes are based on these parasites. Invisible, another name are entities. If energy based on quantum physics never dies, that people that die, what happened to them? It's what is called earthly ghost. Remember, I used to be a volunteer with Edgar Cayce Foundation here in California. And then say when he was alive, he was giving conferences like now. And you put attention to what I'm saying. People, there is nobody there. Well, he could see these people. I mean, deceased people that they couldn't have access to this knowledge, and they didn't evolve, and they were around still the spirit. In Tao, it's called yin ghost. We have yang and yin. Pure yang, you evolve, you become pure spirit. Yin are those people that didn't have the opportunity to develop themselves, and they die, and they're just roaming around. Because time is an illusion. Again, these parasites are around here. So but you are integrated, you have all this knowledge, you apply this knowledge, that when nobody can get you. We go to the astral body when we go to sleep. There's a whole science of sleeping practice. Any tradition, the Egyptians developed that, the Taoists, the Tibetans, because they knew this is a 24/7 job. It's okay to sleep, but even when you're sleeping, you can work, because that's the fastest way that you can change your karma while sleeping, and you can solve problems. It's a whole protocol, because they knew every time we go to sleep, we go to this, then you want to go to this, and you go to the 6, back and forth. Spirit is the most tenacious and faithful, but it's always in motion. The cyclic periodic movement of the spirit symbolized by the circle. It's movement. It never stops. By the way, you want to ask any question, you can raise your hand and I can answer. Matter is motionless, uncoagulated, and is represented by the square. The whole question is how to bring together the circle and the square. Now, this is what happened in life, why this is a teaching device for the student, okay? So now you know that the circle is the spirit. The square is matter. So you want to have a balance between the two, perfect balance. You don't want to overemphasize the spirit, or the other extremes to overemphasize the square. Let me give you an example. Life is nothing. I'm going to become a monk. Because the material aspect, I am above that. Life is useless. It's an illusion. Because I live as a monk, so I'm telling you this. Did that for some years. The square, spirit does nothing. Everything is material. We have that problem now. AI. Everybody's AI. The square. We have this summit that Gloria mentioned about AI. I'm going to be there, actually, because it's a problem. People said it's evil. AI is evil. Going to the circle is evil. And say, no, it's great. We can evolve this and that. They go to an extreme. So especially now, you start to combine both. And now an idea came, and that's how sacred geometry works. Not only that, you can interpose the pentagram. Let's say that you're a coder. You're an expert in AI. How can I incorporate the pentagram with the 5 virtues into my AI business? Because you know, fraud is going up. We're seeing all these phone calls from these people with AI. If we do not put attention on this, it's going to become a problem. It's true. It could. It's true. That is the reason the circle is important. You do not negate AI, but you incorporate both. And that's when you advance a civilization. That is the true leader for me. That can solve this problem with AI. How do we achieve a balance? Because people are greedy. It's gonna now you go to San Francisco, these new companies, because they know the money is there. The money is there. No, we need to reach a balance. I'm not going there. Another point, that's the problem with the square, human trafficking. We have a big problem, and with AI, it's going to increase. It's going to get worse if we do not put the circle there and understand the teaching of the 6 bodies. Because, believe it or not, now that this is kind of esoteric knowledge, all these people that are getting into human trafficking is because those parasites are controlling them. Give me more of that. Because sexual energy is precious for a spiritual practice. There is some celibacy is very good. Because there's something more than that. For example, at the expo in LA, they show a picture now with technology, which is the good thing, that they saw when the sperm gets together with the ovum, now with special cameras, light comes out. I mean, biophotons. What is that? Those are the 6 bodies. And that's so precious, that energy. Mm-hmm. It is within the circle of spirit that matter square can flower and bear fruit at each return of the spirit. You want a balance, especially now. Mm-hmm. That's what all these tools want to help you to do that, to achieve that balance. It's very important to understand this, and then the tools as contemplation. Mm-hmm. First to see the teachings, contemplate, study, be in groups, discuss. When a tree that has been vivified by the spirit bears fruit, it has solved the problem of squaring the circle. That's visible in nature again. That's the best teacher. Mm-hmm. Another great example of observing nature. Mount Shasta, also here you see these huge pine trees, right? Especially in Mount Shasta, you see the snow storms and the huge pine tree green, standing like a tower. So in Taoist training, the Taoist observing said, okay, seeing those trees, they said, how can I acquire that strength into my body? And that's when the pine oil came, because you're absorbing that strength into your body. So that's how important to first respect, start destroying nature, and then to learn from that. And I was working at the expo, so by having this knowledge, then you recognize things that are of value. I was walking at the expo, and I saw a guy selling pine old tree. He knew, because I knew. He said, yeah, this is very good. This is coming from South Korea. That is the reason you see all these Asians. They are 70, 60-year-olds with black hair, because they know how to extract from nature the best. Imagine having that strength from the pine tree into your body. Very useful. Observing nature. It's one of the best teachers. This is the most important part. If you destroy the physical body, your subtle bodies, etheric, astral, mental, causal, buddhic, anatomic, continue to exist. Even if you destroy the house, the square, the circle remains indestructible. This is the most important quote of tonight. This is going to go. But there is something that is indestructible, that goes beyond male and female, has nothing to do with your age, that will survive. The whole thing about initiatic teaching is to prepare you for that moment. That is the most important moment in your evolution. Preparation for that moment of transition. This is called a dimension of transition. In the Zen tradition, they are called, you are a wayfarer, you are a traveler, that's what you are. You start to plant the cipher there, then you start the question, then what I'm doing here? If something is indestructible, you do not go to the extreme of negating the material body. There's a vehicle. For one reason you are here at this time. How do I apply this? And that's why sacred geometry helps you, that never lose that vision. Now you remember one, so it's sad what happens to humans when they do not have this knowledge. I have family in Florida. And in Florida, because of the weather, you have all these retirees, they move there in mass. So they decided to build huge complexes. They are so big that they have golf cars, Starbucks, movie theaters, but they're like a mini city. They say all these people, old people. Wow. When I was living in Albany, in New York, I was talking with a person, and she told me, there's a big problem there of promiscuity and sexual diseases, because all these people, they're getting old and they are just having fun. They have no idea of all this knowledge. It's very sad, because all that's going to pull you down when you go to that transition. There is nothing wrong with having sex and with having a partner, but when you do not know how this cosmic intelligence works and you start to mess around, you get into troubles. She told me that we have a big problem there. They are going wild, because who cares? Life is going to end when I die. It's true if you do not know it, but no. The Egyptians knew. That is the reason we have the Egyptian Book of the Dead. They knew you need to prepare yourself for that transition. It's very important. So there's something, this is very also, I am from the Zen tradition, and they tell you again and again. For example, one of my first books is called The Science of Freedom. And a student asked the teacher, what happened if the planet explodes? What happened to me? Nothing. Nothing happens to your true nature. Doesn't die, it never dies. It's easy to talk about it, but actualize that, because it's fear. Again, you need to integrate the 6 bodies, because otherwise, as a Zen master said, well, then you go to the laundry machine of reincarnation and you come back. That's what you do. Even if you do not believe it, it's there. Because this is based on universal law. This is not something that this is how the universe works. The problem, for example, we know the law of gravity, right? We can see it if I drop this. But there are laws that control the universe that we need to align to. Because we cannot see them, that doesn't mean they do not exist. They are there. But they are so subtle that you need to refine the personality and the mind to start to perceive these laws.
Does that mean that karma kind of goes inside with universal law?
Oh, yeah.
Which you do on Earth, right?
Yes, it does. It's a school. We're in a schoolroom Earth. Mm-hmm. Even if you negate that, I mean, you can. Yeah. That doesn't exist. Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you explain many things about things when you start to observe carefully how things work? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You apply that, and again, we go to the 6 bodies. And now, another sacred geometry, okay, why 6? Why not 7 bodies, 8? Emoto, beautiful as you know, the work of Masaru Emoto, we have all this, when you say thank you, I love you, when you play music of Mozart creates these beautiful crystals. What do you notice on all of them? Sacred geometry. It's everywhere. Have you heard about structured water? Okay. When you see the image of structured water, 6 sides. And how the brain evolves. So just watching this, it helps you. So this is not something that Master Omraam came with. This is very initiatic teaching, very old. You can also bring the symbols to life with your movement, because we're walking antennas. These are movements that you do, that you start to harmonize the body. That's what you do. They just last for 8 minutes. I have the books there with a DVD. But he said, you can bring the symbols to your body, to your nervous system, because the goal of this exercise is to balance your nervous system. That's key. Your nervous system never must be out of balance. That is, now we have the vagus nerve. There's a lot now of the vagus nerve, polyvagal theory, because they knew the vagus nerve regulates the whole body. And I asked my father, he's a neurologist, why it's called the vagus nerve? Because in Spanish we have, es un vago. It's a homeless. Homeless es un vago. Because the vagus nerve starts here, goes all the way down here. It regulates the whole body. So these exercises, you integrate the symbols into your life. And he goes into detail why, because it's better when you do things that you do not just imitate that. Understand the logic. Why is this doing? And he explains that in the book. These exercises balance the nervous system. That's what they do. In anything, you need to go with a very balanced nervous system. Now, any question before we go to the advanced application of this? Yes?
You talk about 6. Is that because sacred geometry is in the 6th dimension?
No, not necessarily. No. There are many dimensions.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes?
Are you familiar with the field of semiotics?
Oh yeah, we will see that too.
Okay.
Oh yes, yes.
I looked at that picture of like the 6 rings. It almost looks like an atom, like, right? The center of an atom and then the outside rings, right? I'm just thinking that we're all the son of Adam.
It's the sun.
Right?
The sun.
Right.
The physical body. Well, this is when you study this, when you contemplate this. Okay, the physical body influences the atmic body. How the lowest influences the atmic, the highest.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible.
You start, okay, how? Yes, Michael.
Carbon, just carbon, the element. is
Carbon, yes.
666.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 6 neutrons, protons, electrons. It's black. When it's under pressure over time, it turns to basically light, a diamond. Do they incorporate that in the teachings also?
Could be, I do not know, because that is new. Remember that this teaching is very old. What you just described, you discovered that recently with scientific equipment. So they are confirming something that humans knew. So maybe, I do not know. Maybe
it's also the basis of organic chemistry.
Exactly, and now you mentioned that, you remind me of carbon-60. It's a great now supplement, because when you see the geometry of carbon-60, C60, is a perfect geometry. So you are acquiring that. Same with the pine oil. So the lesson here, the less process what you eat, the better. So imagine that you eat that pine oil. Man, you are getting, and the guy told me, when you drink this oil, it goes to cleanse your cells in the brain, the vessels, the blood vessels, is open the blood vessels. Nature knows. Mm-hmm. It's like ginseng. You know why ginseng is so precious, so expensive? Because ginseng lasts in China on the earth for 3,000 years. the power that the ginseng has.
What's ginseng?
Ginseng. Imagine, so you want that strong, good ginseng costs a lot of money, but you are strong. Mm-hmm. Any other question? Comment? Yes.
Is there a connection back to the Theosophical Society or Neoplatonism there?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. And Master Omraam, he used to recommend Rolf Steiner's teaching. There's a video about both actually on YouTube. Yes. This is, yeah. There's a lot of relationship in this. For example, it is this ability to access different realms that makes humans superior. This is from another book, Alchemy, Astrology, Magic, and Kabbalah. So we have this privilege. Animals do not. And that's the reason, for example, in Buddhism, there's a saying, to have a human body is a precious opportunity. It's so difficult to have a human body. Don't let it go. Do not let it go. Okay, let's see a video.
Voulez-vous, mes chers frères et sœurs, venir avec moi? On va faire une excursion en Égypte. On va aller maintenant jusqu'à les pyramides. On va entrer en dedans. Il y a encore des habitants. Et on va leur poser des questions. On va s'adresser maintenant au chef, le plus grand, le plus lumineux, le plus haut, un initié formidable. Et on vient lui demander quel est le sens de la vie, ce qui est le plus important, de quoi on doit s'occuper, pourquoi on est sur la terre, des choses comme ça. Et voilà que cet être-là formidable, très puissant, il dira, depuis des milliers d'années, nous, les élus, les fils du ciel, du soleil, nous nous sommes posés cette question. D'où on vient? Où on va? Qu'est-ce qu'on est? Voilà, on est venu pour savoir, vouloir, pouvoir. Et maintenant, la traduction. On lui pose la question, mais savoir quoi? Et vous ne savez pas ce que vous devez savoir. Tout ce que vous savez n'est pas l'essentiel. Savoir, ça veut dire de savoir l'essentiel. Et l'essentiel, c'est le Créateur. Il contient tout. Il est tout puissant, il est omniscient, il est beau, il est parfait, il est tout amour. Tout se résume à lui, tout vient de lui, tout entre en lui. Donc de savoir qu'il y a un Créateur, de vouloir devenir comme lui, se fondre en lui, c'est-à-dire de pouvoir remplir son cœur de toute cette splendeur, de toute cette perfection, de tout cet amour. Et après, de pouvoir réaliser ça par des actes, par des gestes, par des exercices, par le travail, de réaliser la même splendeur, la même perfection, par des travaux de toutes sortes. Voilà ce que ce grand initié nous dit. Toute leur science se résumait dans ces quelques mots.
Okay. So this video was prepared by the school in Switzerland. There are 3 main schools, the one in France, in the Bonfim, Frejus, Switzerland, and one in Canada, but they're all over the world. And just, he mentioned at the beginning that we will visit, there are some beings living there in the pyramid, right? Well, I will show you something that I saw on Gaia TV. Are you familiar with Freddy Silva? Yeah. Well, Freddy, he said that he was doing some, in the pyramid, some intonation, and he saw these beings coming from the walls. And he's not the only one that has shared that experience. So who are these beings that are in the wall of the pyramid? No, initiates maybe. Okay, cymatics. It's very important here. This is the confirmation of this ancient science. This is John Stuart Reid from England. And he created this device called the CymaScope. Now with this, we can see now sound visible. Okay? We can see if you play music that even there's an app, the CymaScope, that you can download to your phone. And when you are talking, you can see your DNA signature. Oh, yeah. So it's very important because, for example, are you familiar with the work of Sherry Edwards? Sherry Edwards, she was born with the ability to decipher your voice. She can tell you if you are lying. Lawyers call her wives to see if the husband is cheating. Because just listening to your voice, she can tell you that person is lying. For trials, it's very useful. And she said something, we all have that ability. All of us, without exception. It's dormant there. Okay. So when you play certain music, creates beautiful shapes, right? And again, 6, the number 6. Now, he was able also to record the sound emitted by the planets. Okay. This is the bomb film when Master Omraam was alive. You see in all the schools the symbol of the dot, the sun. This is the symbol of the sun, the pentagon, obviously. But now let's see a real cymatics of the music of the sun. This is not a painting. This is a cymatic figure of the sound that the sun emits. Michael.
That's a sine wave around the instrument.
The sign?
Sine wave.
Oh, the sign? Yes. The wave? Yes.
Yeah.
Very good observation. Now let's go deeper. Okay, first, look at this is one of the most ancient symbols. Look at this. It's an iris. We are cosmic beings. Yes or no? The other thing, if you count the waves, you know how many waves are there? You can count it. 28. How many cycles, moon cycles, how many days are in a moon cycle? 28. We are cosmic beings. Woman, it's there. This is not something new, but they knew these initiates. The question is how these initiates did it.
It's really cool how clearly the circle with a dot and the ancient alchemical symbol of the sun is reflected in that image.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing important, song of the sun. Everything is music. What is the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita? Song to God.
Yes.
The Heart Sutra. Song of trust in the heart. There's are you familiar with Milarepa? This great yogi? He was a quantum physicist. I saw a lecture from Greg Braden that he went to the cave where Milarepa was meditating with all the monks, and you can see his hands. He was able to penetrate rock with his hands. He was telling that to the monks, look what you can do. And actually, at the expo, a guy from Canada, he was able to do that with equipment. He was able to melt a knife with metal. And I remember what Milarepa did, so we can do it also, but you need to purify the mind. He was able to penetrate matter with the hand, Milarepa. Now, so we have 28 waves. Look at the perfect symmetry. What we just discussed 1 hour is all here. Okay? So this is another important part that you will see the advantage of now. You have this new language of sacred geometry. I was in the expo and they presented this device called the Terafy. The Terafy is a device that is plasma based. The sun is plasma. And it regenerates your DNA, You can do all this. I mean, it does that. And the guy showed, oh, we took a picture of the energy that the Terra-Phi emits, and this is what it shows. What do you see? The pentagon. Now that you know sacred geometry, oh, you recognize, yes, there is something there in that technology. All perfection. All perfection. The perfection of nature. Then you decide, where do I want to invest? Because these are science. This is science. Now, the application in this book, Master Omraam gives a lot of exercises, very old. And one of them that before you go to sleep, you do a pentagram. And you go to sleep. It's protection. That's what it is. And you say a prayer, the prayer that he describes. Because we are sacred geometry, you put your right hand like this, facing down, your left like this. And he includes a prayer, but that's very personal in my opinion. You can say whatever you feel attracted to, but it's an intention, and you go to sleep. This is one of, I know all other ones, but this is a protection. You can put it on your door. You can do that. Very small. But we can see where it is coming from. It's not something, it's there. It's light, because we are light beings.
It's in our DNA.
It's in our DNA.
Is this a company or a machine?
It's a machine that Paul Harris, you can do a research, he studied the Rife machine, Edgar Cayce, the violet ray and all that. So he's an inventor, because at the expo it's very interesting. You see all these inventions, these very smart people. And he developed with other people the Terra-Phi. And for example, you see all the benefits, and they presented all scientific data, what it does to your DNA. It changed the blood cells, all scientific. And it's good to know, because you see the control that we have by the system. Because you do not see in the market, in the normal market, you will not see it. They don't want people to know about this. That's it. This is a way kind of initiatic science that you need to go to the right place to find it, right? But when he showed this picture, I knew, okay, these things work. He knows something. And he showed proof. He brought people, giving examples. For example, this is plasma. I saw another device in Washington, a guy with plasma. A guy from Italy developed a plasma device and he showed me a video in Washington of one of his patients. The guy was like this. He had an accident. And then he was inside one of these machines, not this one. The guy was dancing after that. And he showed me the video. I couldn't believe it. So see, he showed me before and after. The guy was dancing, and so what? Because we are light beings. So our DNA has been suppressed, all these things. So that's what this device do. It's coming back. They knew, because what they also showed that these devices were in ancient times, they were used. They had this technology in the past.
The Egyptians had something.
They had it. Paul, well, it's very interesting. It's not here, but I just remember based on your comment. Have you seen this in Egypt, this kind of a bulb with kind of a serpent? He did it. He was able to replicate that. He said, maybe these guys had the same technology. He did it. He created the same thing. And he showed a picture of kind of a snake. That's the wave. And it was amazing to see that. He says, yeah, I did it. I replicated that. And he put a picture of the hieroglyphic. And what he did. So the Egyptians were revealing the technology. Here we go, humans. for eternity. Okay. Many things, many inventions that we have, many advances in science, psychology are coming from initiatic science. In initiatic science, this is a talisman. Now that you're experts in sacred geometry, and you can have something here that I will explain you. So this is a talisman. Talismans protect you. That's what they do. Many people went to see Master Omraam. Can you do a talisman for me? I said, no, not for you. Because talisman, you can put it on your door, you can put it on your arm. Those are protections. Good initiates know the science. It's a whole science about talismans. Where is this coming from? Who did this talisman? Carl Jung is in the Red Book. He was an initiate. He knew this knowledge, but because he never talked about that openly, but many of his contributions were based on this knowledge. It's Carl Jung. That's in the Red Book, that talisman. If you do not know initiatic science, oh, that's nice, a nice carpet in his living room. Wow, but look at that. It's a tattoo. He was into tattoos. No, this is a talisman. So that's how we can see that this science is very old, it's very profound, life-changing. He knew about it, but he didn't talk openly about it because he didn't want to be ridiculed among his peers.
What is a talisman?
Talisman, it was found that because everything now that you understand are symbols in life. Everything is a symbol. The pentagram is a symbol. You are a symbol, right? Initiates discover that there are certain patterns that evoke a response from the universe. One of the classic ones is the Solomon talisman. It says, according to initiatic teaching, that he could control demons with the talisman. It's protection. It's a very ancient science, very esoteric, right? It's very advanced. Don't have time to go into that, but those are for protection. Let's say, if you are a priest, you want to do an exorcism. Well, you need to get ready for that. A talisman will protect you because some evil entities cannot see that. They know that's protection. It's very advanced. Some people in Hollywood know about it and they just from time to time they let it go. But that's a talisman, it's for protection or to get aid from not very good entities. Mm-hmm. Usually people get into initiatic science because they get ambitious. They want money, women, power, seduction, because it gives you that. It's a problem that we have now. But Master Omraam came forward and shared the teaching, said the world is ready for that now. He was very respected because of that, because he was a very serious teacher, well respected. Many kings is in history. They knew about this. I was listening to a talk. I used to laugh at astrology. That's for ignorant people. You know how many astrologers Ronald Reagan has? 12 astrologers, Ronald Reagan, at his service. Why a president has astrologers? They know. Are you familiar with the Gene Keys from Richard Roth? Mm-hmm. Okay, let me tell you something. Richard Roth studied the teachings of Master Omraam and he embedded the teachings in the Gene Keys. He said that in the book openly. The Gene Keys are based on Master Omraam teaching. He added other things, but he said, this is Richard in the book in introduction. He said that Master Omraam is guiding him from another plane. He said that in the book, in the introduction, but he recognized that he put the teachings of the Master Omraam on the Gene Keys. I was in a training 2 years ago online. You know how many people we were in the online training? 2,000. 2,000 people, Gene Keys. but it's all because of these teachings. Just to show you how profound are these teachings, that the jinkies are going big around the world. And you can see sometimes in the videos of Richard, the books of Master Omraam in back. He has all the books there, like that one, other books. But he was very good that he embedded all these into the system. That's another example of sacred geometry, very complex topics in simple geometry. That's easy to understand for the mind, because this is a huge body of knowledge. Huge, 160 books, and some of the teachings are still unpublished, all recorded. So there's a lot of material that this man left for humanity, still not in books. But that's the reason we can see how these teachings are so powerful. Mm-hmm. You want to say something? No? Okay. Any questions? And as you know, well, Richard, what he did, he combined the human design with the jinkies. And with Master Omraam teachings, he put the systems together. He combined Master Omraam, because Richard studied with the human design with the founder for 12 years. So he combined this, the human design, and he developed the jinkies. It's very good. Yes, so how practical is this? It's very practical. It's down to earth. And so if you want to follow up or learn more, you can go to the website here. You can subscribe to the newsletter. You can see videos online. There's a video about Rudolf Steiner and Master Omraam there on the website. And if you sign up, you will receive a biography of Master Omraam. We have meetings every month online. Mm-hmm. Circle of Light. And then there's the 4th annual retreat. It's going to be in Canada, June 20 to 29. That we share all the teachings. You can meet other people. And you learn a lot about these people. I was amazed. My first retreat was in Mount Shasta, and I was amazed to see people from 5 continents there. Even a woman from Nigeria came, a blind chief from a tribe in Nigeria came to Mount Shasta. He said, "What are you doing?" "Oh, because this is a great master." But very inspiring. I mean, people from Japan, from Nigeria, from Switzerland. And I asked the Swiss, because Master Omraam revealed his most esoteric teachings in Switzerland, not in France. And it's funny, because when I went to France, I asked a French people, why Master Omraam was sent to France? Why Peter do not send him to France and not to the country? And she told me, because French were very difficult. She told me that we French are very difficult people. We like to fight. Okay. But yeah, I remember I was in Canada, and we were in the kitchen. There was a woman from Norway, a guy from France, and a woman from Japan. That's great that you meet people from all over the world. You learn a lot about sharing things, because that's initiatic science. This is non-religion. Somebody wrote an email, this religion? Not at all. You can see that, how profound is this, life-changing. Now you can have a new tool to understand life. It's very useful. Thank you very much for listening. Any question? Yes. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm wondering if the physical, the gymnastics, is in any way indicative of the Tai Chi, or not the Tai Chi, but the Qigong, the working with energy in the body.
Yeah.
The way that Qigong.
It's different. It's different. These are movements that now you see about the symbols. And Master Omraam in this book, he goes into detail. He first explained, he explained the meaning of each symbol, and how every movement that you do, you bring that symbol into your body. So imagine the power that you're bringing into your body. Mm-hmm. So Tai Chi is different. And this is just take 8 minutes, and a person from any age can do it. That's the beauty of this. There are very simple exercises, very simple. So, but it's different. He didn't like to combine movements. Yeah. It's different than yoga also, because I do both myself. I do his, and I do yoga because I do meditation for long hours, and I need to really relax. But this is different. Yes.
Is it connected to Gurdjieff's sacred gymnastics, or
No,
just
that is
similar
different.
wording?
No, because for example, you saw in the video of the beginning about his training, he trained with Peter Dunov, right? Peter Dunov developed what is called panurhythmic. And they do that at the Rila Mountains. At the Rila, it's kind of a vortex. And you can see on the, sometimes in the dance, they create a pentagram. It's amazing to see a pentagram from the sky. These people, like a lot of people dancing, because it's different, because you align with the rhythms of the universe. It's similar to the rules of Steiner, but this is another application. But the goal at the end is to align to the rhythms of the universe. Yeah. Yes. Question?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for coming. Yeah.